Hello students, this is the fourth video for class 6 students. Now in today's video topic is computer memory. Now before going to the details of computer memory, let us understand what is computer memory and what is its purpose. Now the basic purpose of computer memory is to store data and instruction into the computer. Now, memory usually consists of one or more memory chip on the motherboard. So, the purpose of computer memory is to store the data in the computer. It can also store the instruction too. Now, memory unit. As we measure the liquid in liter, as we measure the solid in kilogram or whatever in grams, so there is some unit by which we measure the amount of data in computer. We all know that our computer understand only binary number, that is either 0 or 1. So there is some units by which we can measure that how much amount of data is already stored in my machine. So the smallest unit is bit. It is either 0 or 1. So single bit is the smallest unit. Now a byte is equal to 1 character, that means it is equal to 8 bit. So 1 byte is equal to 8 bit. Now next is 1 kilobyte. 1 kilobyte is equal to 1024 bytes. 1 kilobyte is equal to 1024 bytes. Now next comes 1 megabyte. 1 megabyte is equal to 1024 kilobyte. Now next gigabyte, which is equal to 1024 megabyte. Like that way, next is 1 terabyte, 1 petabyte, 1 exabyte, 1 zettabyte, 1 yottabyte and 1 brontobyte. So let's repeat once again. The smallest unit is bit, which is either 0 or 1, a single digit only, either 0 or 1 is called a bit, which is the smallest unit. Then after byte, a byte is equal to 8 bit, then after kilobyte, then megabyte, then gigabyte, then terabyte, then petabyte, then exabyte, then zettabyte, then yottabyte and then brontobyte. Next, types of memory. How many types of memory your computer can have? Basically, your computer can have two types of memory, that is either main memory or secondary memory. A main memory named as primary memory 2. Now, primary memory or main memory, it can be of two types again, volatile or non-volatile. So when a computer, what is volatile memory? Whenever we switched off our machine, whatever is stored in the volatile memory will get erased from the machine. That is called volatile memory. It is, the example is RAM. Random access memory is a volatile memory. And non-volatile memory is what? It can store the data permanently. Even if you switch off your computer, it can store the data. So it is the read-only memory. So RAM, random access memory, is volatile memory which will erase the data whenever you will switch off the machine, and ROM, which is read-only memory which can store the data permanently until you delete it. Now random access memory. As I have already told you that it loses all its content whenever the machine gets switched off. And if we want to store the data permanently, we have to copy it from RAM to ROM. So whenever I want to store something permanently in my machine, what I have to do? I have to copy the program, or else I would like to say it move. So I have to move the program from RAM to the ROM. Read and write, both operation can be done on a file if it's stored in RAM. So as the name suggests, ROM, that is read-only memory, so it does not support any kind of write operation. So if I want to write something on a file, I have to bring the file from ROM to the RAM so that I can do the writing operation too. So if I want to read something and side by side, if I want to edit the data, whatever is written on that data, for that I need to bring the file from ROM to the RAM, because only the RAM have the permission to write on a file. Now next is program instruction transfer in and out of RAM. How your RAM take the data from a ROM and how it give the data to the ROM. So say I am a user of a computer. I am asking for something. So I will write that what I am asking for. So your RAM will get the instruction from the user. So what RAM will do? RAM will search for the file which is stored in the ROM. Whenever it will get the file in the ROM, it will bring the file from ROM to the RAM. Now it is stored in the RAM too. Now you will edit the file, whatever instruction you want to give to the computer, it will follow the instruction and it will edit your file according to your instruction. Now after doing everything, it will show you the output. Now if you want to store the data, if you really want to store the data, what you will press? You will press the save button. You will store the data by giving some name. So what RAM will do? RAM will move the data from RAM to the ROM. So that your data gets stored in the ROM permanently. Right? So let me clear it once again. Whenever a user will give some instruction, your RAM will search for your RAM will store the instruction, and based on the instruction, RAM will search the file on the ROM. If it gets the file from the ROM, it will bring the file from ROM to the RAM and it will store the file in RAM. Then after, based on user instruction, it will edit the file. After editing the file, it will give the output to the user. If the user wants to store it permanently, then it will again move the data from RAM to the ROM. Now there are few types of RAM available. First one is dynamic RAM. It is an inexpensive and most popular type of main memory. Even DRAM also have different types. That is SDRAM, that is synchronous DRAM. It is faster and more reliable than DRAM. Next one is DDR SDRAM. That is double data rate SDRAM. It is faster than SDRAM and transfer data twice instead of once for each clock cycle. Next is DDR2. It is the second generation of DDR with faster speed. DDR3. It is the third generation with even more faster than DDR2. DDR4, which is the fourth generation of DDR, even more faster. Now last one is Rambus DRAM, which is much faster than SDRAM. So the types of DRAM are SDRAM, DDR SDRAM, DDR2, DDR3, DDR4 and RDRAM. Next is type of RAM. What we have concerned over here, that dynamic RAM one type, another two type are static RAM and magnetoresistic RAM. First, static RAM. It is very fast but it is very much expensive. So we use a little amount of SRAM in our computer as cache memory. Next one is magnetoresistic RAM, which is a new type of RAM which store the data as magnetic charge instead of electrical charge. What we do, we store the data as electrical charges in our machine, but this MRAM will store the data as magnetic charge instead of using it as electrical charge. Next is read-only memory. As the name suggests, it can only read the data from the memory. You cannot edit any file if it is stored in ROM. If you want to edit the data, you have to bring it to the RAM. So as we have already discussed, that it refers to the memory chip which can store the data permanently. For example, we can take BIOS, which is basic input output system, which is a sequence of instruction for uploading or loading the operating system to the machine and other few instructions to turn on your machine only. So BIOS is basically basic input output system, which is a sequence of instructions that a computer follow to load operating system and other files when you turn on your computer. What I have said just right now, whenever I turn on my machine, there are some files which load. Based on that, your machine switched on. So that is called BIOS, which are stored in your ROM. So as you know, we can't change that file. Can you change a BIOS file? No, you can't change a BIOS file. So that is stored in ROM. Now types of ROM. First one is programmable read-only memory. Chip is this kind of chip is a blank ROM chip on which you can place items permanently. Programmer use microcode instruction to program a ROM, PROM chip. So programmable read-only memory is a type of chip where you can write item permanently. Next is erasable programmable ROM. So it is EPROM. It is another type of ROM that where you can erase the data by ultraviolet light and then program it by PROM. So whenever you want to erase the data, you have to use ultraviolet light to erase the data, and then after you can rewrite by using PROM. Next is electrically EPROM, that is EEPROM is another variation of PR chip which allow a programmer to erase the microcode with an electric signal. Next is cache memory. So as we have already discussed that cache memory is just a little amount of memory which is more faster than your primary memory, which is stored in your CPU to give the production even more faster. Even it is volatile, it is for temporary use only. Whenever you switch off your machine, your cache get deleted. So how your cache works? So say your processor want to access something. Your processor want to give some instruction. What it will do? It will give the instruction to the cache, side by side to the RAM also. So if the operation or if the file in this cache only, so your RAM don't have to find for the file. So if the file is in your cache, those from the cache memory only, it will get updated and your processor will get the output. You don't even have to go to the RAM. If the file is not in the cache, then cache will give the instruction to the RAM. RAM will search for it. Even if the file is not in the RAM, then your RAM will search for it to the secondary memory. I am going to repeat it once again for you that if a processor wants to give some instruction, so what it will do, it will give the instruction first to the cache memory. So if the file is present in your cache, then your processor don't have to go to the RAM and secondary memory. It can access the file from directly cache. So your cache will update the file and it will give the output to the processor. If the file is not present in RAM, so what it will do, it will give the instruction to RAM and RAM will search for it. And if it is present in RAM, then RAM will give the data to give the file to the cache. If the file is not even present in RAM, then RAM will give the instruction to the secondary memory. If the file is not even in RAM, then only your RAM will give the instruction to the secondary memory and secondary memory will search for it and give the file to the RAM, and then after RAM will give the data to the cache. So the purpose of cache memory is to store the data very temporarily. Whatever we are doing just right now, cache memory just stored that data only. I will stop doing that work. Cache will erase the data by some other work. Cache will rewrite the element by some other work, whatever I am doing right now. Now secondary memory. It can store the data permanently, as we know that if I want to store something like a song, like a movie, a file, whatever I want to store permanently in my machine, I have to store it in the secondary memory. It is slower than the primary memory. Of course, it will be slower. Then it is non-volatile, and the main example of secondary memory is hard disk. So I think the concept of memory and the type of memory is clear to you all. Thank you for watching the video. Keep updated with some new videos what will come in this channel. Be safe, and for now, bye.